Alright, folks, Acid Root's back, and we've got part 10 of Let's Play Mystic Quest. So, in this episode, we will get to the Ice Pyramids boss, which is the Ice Golem. Not to spoil it, but, I mean, we'll let you can be imaginative as far as what you think it'll be like, but that's what we're dealing with here, and yeah, I mean, we've kind of droned through this dungeon. This is at least the third episode of seeing it, so it's kind of like, well, what's going to happen next now? We've got to start getting towards figuring that up, but basically, the Ice Golem doesn't get beaten in this episode, but this is actually, I think, the first boss that gave me a game over, so that's kind of the situation. I know for folks who are attentively wanting the kind of element of surprise, it's not, but just, you know, just kind of take it, and we're going to enjoy the context of the dialogue here and that sort of stuff, but, yeah. One thing I do wish that older RPGs would have had is just, like, people you can talk to in the dungeons, because it just feels very kind of tunnel vision. You know, I know that early games wouldn't have done that, but I do feel like, I mean, obviously I don't think, like, classic RPGs are still being made too much now, but I think it would kind of spice things up to have some characters just to get some text like, hey, you definitely don't want to go that way or something, and then you do, and then you encounter, like, a boss or something that you probably should have listened to the NPC as far as not fighting, and the NPC is non-player character, so get with the role-playing game lingo, folks, for absolute casual gamers that don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so this is kind of a maze. That's kind of the concept here, is it's kind of a maze, and I was kind of getting confused a bit as far as what direction to kind of go in, because it looks, you should be able to go to the left, but there's like a certain way, and I don't know how chalant I did it in terms of pulling it off, but eventually I do get there. But there's a certain path you have to take as the ice kind of blocks you, but it's kind of there's a word for it, kind of elusive, I guess you could say. It's kind of an illusion in sorts. So, but that was the Ice Golem there, speaking of which. So yeah, that is kind of the thing. So I'm not, I guess, you know, for folks who do want to play this game, I'm not entirely spoiling the puzzles. There still might be a few things that wind up pissing you off and stuff, but, yep. Need to hit up the store and get some more goodies and stuff. Need to get me some Doritos and stuff like that. Just trying to think of extra wide stuff to kind of circulate and stuff here, but there we go. No, maybe not. Maybe not. It's, you know, we're kind of being tripped up by parlor tricks right now. So, but no, I don't feel like fighting all those enemies, so, I mean, obviously you can, but there's not terribly much. I mean, it's mostly just for experience sake, so. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why you would need, like, Game Facts. And Game Facts is Game Frequently Asked Questions. Has, like, a nice blue and white design. It's a pretty old website. I've used it a handful of times. And, I mean, that was YouTube before there was YouTube. Before you could just look on the internet and find, like, walkthroughs and stuff. You know, I mean, you had to go to, like, text-type things to figure out. And it would tell you stuff. I'm so glad. I mean, I'm not an entire visual learner, but that sort of concept of those people that actually had to write the script as far as explaining to you through text how to beat those games is ridiculous. Kind of the thing is, it is. So, it's so much easier just having these formats. But even then, I mean, nowadays, people feel like, well, there's people who did this back in 2008 and 2009. What do we care if you're 13 years late? And it's like, well, happens to kind of be the thing. There's still a fun game. I mean, you gotta, that's, I mean, I'm definitely not someone who only likes streams now. I mean, streams are okay, but the classic Let's Play still needs to be respected. I mean, there's some good stuff here. It's definitely, I don't know. I mean, YouTube is just getting too convoluted, but yep. So I do skip a couple battles, but I really don't skip that many just because it would be shorter just because we get the Ice Golem in this episode. So there's probably just like 3, 4, maybe 5 battles in this, something like that. I skip at least one of them, so it's at least kind of an extra thing just so we can keep this on the road. But yeah, these Lamia enemies are really kind of a pain in the ass. They really wind up being kind of an extreme pain in the ass just because they do status attacks almost after every turn. And the thing about it is here, I don't have any Phoenix Downs. I don't even know if they call them Phoenix Downs in this game, but they don't have, I don't have the life spell. So that's definitely, Phoebe has the life spell, but my character doesn't. I'm almost wondering if the character is even able to. I didn't do enough exploring in the dungeons, so hopefully I can wind up purchasing it, because I don't want to have to go search in the dungeons for it. I just kind of feel like it would be necessary just to have both characters be able to have the skill. I recommend for people playing this, obviously, to find it, but I know it's kind of a trial. I understand that for folks that some of this stuff gets tedious, that's kind of the thing, so I am going to save. And you can change the color of like the menu. You notice how it's blue where it says item and cure potion and stuff. You can actually change it to different colors. So I thought that's actually pretty neat to be able to do that. So, but yeah, I skipped a battle there, and we do have more of this. We're almost at the Ice Golem. Kind of the thing. It's gonna probably be at least a 5-6 minute battle, but we'll have to see how it goes. Actually, there might actually be more of this in like even part 12. I would almost say that the Ice Golem's going to make it even to the episode after the next one. So, but you know, probably next week I'm going to get started on some more gameplay for this game and get even further. You know, there'll be March by that point, but just gonna keep trucking through this game, you know, as far as that goes. Yeah, now we have to go. That's right, folks, we have to. Well, it's really not that bad. Here I was thinking we had to do something else, but yep. Don't fall, obviously. You don't want to. I mean, this is an action RPG, so you have to understand that it does have somewhat devious traps set up. First text in the whole dungeon. This is what I'm talking about as far as saying that there should have been more, you know, stuff to sit there. I mean, really, this game is pretty scant in that department. There's just not a lot of. Most of it is just literally the turn-based fighting and stuff. There's not a bunch of like interaction, which is typical of, you know, RPGs and stuff. But alright, so we're gonna fight this guy, and the thing about it is I do not recommend having the computer control like the other character in this, just because they'll either use up the all their heal items, and if you get a game over, you just won't have them anymore, or they'll spend most of their time healing you when you take damage. So that's kind of the thing. I mean, really, Jones here, the thing about him is the character does not wait for you to be at like 20 or 15% to heal. So that's kind of the thing. So if you take too much damage, they're going to heal you right then. And in some cases, that's a good thing, just because this guy is actually pretty strong and can one-shot the characters sometimes. But, I mean, that's something to know. Is that obviously, with him being an Ice Golem, he is fairly strong and stuff. But it's just kind of the reason why I lost so many times to this guy was because I wasn't understanding that you know, sometimes both characters have to heal each other. I just kind of wanted, I mean, like typical RPGs, you can just have one healer character. The emphasis is sometimes Benjamin has to heal Phoebe, and sometimes Phoebe has to heal Benjamin. That's kind of the thing about it. So, just make sure you do at least have that concept. I mean, for the most part, you don't have to do it very much as long as you're healing, but you can't just attack like 2 or 3 turns in a row and then heal. I mean, it's something that the guy is going to attack, and he's obviously very strong. So it's just kind of, you have to alternate between each character getting the health. And really, Phoebe is, I mean, most of the time, Phoebe's going to be the stronger character. So you want her, she can really beat the tar out of the boss with like her magic and stuff. But it's just kind of, I mean, obviously, thing about it is when one of the characters gets wiped out, it's pretty much a no-show in terms of winning. So there's extra things there. But that's what makes this game fun, is just having to make those sorts of stratagems just as far as determining what the hell to do with this boss. I mean, it didn't piss me off too much. I was getting kind of aggravated and stuff, but it didn't reach a point where I was like furious. That's kind of thing. It's just something that's like, damn, you know, rethink a little bit. So I wonder how the rest of this game's gonna go. I hope that it doesn't evolve into something further that's gonna wind up pissing me off. Because this is a fairly balanced game. I mean, it's intended as like I said in episode 1, it's a decaf RPG and stuff, but it's this kind of you know, you have to wonder. So, obviously, fire is strong against this guy, but it's just a question of making sure you don't, I mean, because the thing about it is he's gonna have more than just a handful of fire attacks that are gonna take to defeat him. So it's kind of, eventually, the thing is to use, like, other attacks and such. So, but for the most part, the fire should be able to mop the floor up with them quite a bit. And that's kind of thing you'll notice as, I mean, that's something I like about how these boss characters goes, is they show damage as that starts to happen. So it's cool. Kind of talking a little bit quicker than I should be, kind of stumbling over my words a bit. It's just because, I mean, I only have like a couple minutes left of this, but for some reason I'm a little bit more uppity about this episode a bit. I was doing well the first few minutes. It's not like I'm doing bad, but just kind of. So. But yeah, so eventually after these next couple times when the Ice Golem wins, I just kind of say fuck it, and then I'm kind of like, well, thing about it is I equip the characters properly, and I wind up figuring out as far as the strategy that I told you about earlier as far as how to get that done. So that's the concept of it, is really, I mean, as much as I like having the computer control the other character, I wonder, because it would be fun to kind of watch how some of that goes, but the problem with it is you really have to be on top of your game to be able to have the computer be like palatable with the boss. I mean, because really, you're going to have to heal. And that's the situation there, is you're going to have to heal, because otherwise the computer will do it for you and use up all her MP. Or their MP in later battles. That's kind of the thing, so. But it is, you know. Alright, so we've got a little bit left. And as you can tell, the Ice Golem's starting to get damaged. I don't know if this is actually, I don't think this is the round where I wind up beating this guy, but it's just a little bit more tedium with this, but eventually it's gonna wind up, like I said, it's either gonna be late part 11 or mid part 12 by the time this guy gets done. But alright, so I will see y'all in part 11. Subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night.